There is a type of pain that cuts deeper than betrayal. Not because someone hated you, not because someone fought against you, but because someone you once saved slowly started pretending that you never mattered. You stood beside them when the world laughed at them. You defended them when everybody abandoned them. You sacrificed your peace, your time, your energy, your money, and sometimes even your future just to help them survive. And now? Now they walk past you like a stranger. Now they speak to you with artificial respect. Now they act as if they built their entire success alone. And the most terrifying part? They do not even feel guilty. This is the dark psychology of ingratitude. And today, we're going to uncover why some people forget the hands that lifted them from the ground the moment they start touching the sky. Title on screen: The Status Amnesia: Why People Forget Those Who Helped Them. Every successful person has a hidden chapter, a chapter nobody talks about, the chapter where they were weak, broken, rejected, invisible. Before the confidence, before the expensive clothes, before the followers, before the attention, there was a version of them that desperately needed someone to believe in them. And maybe you were that person. Maybe you were the one answering their calls at 2 a.m. Maybe you listened to their breakdowns while silently carrying your own pain. Maybe you gave them opportunities when nobody else trusted them. Maybe you spent your last money helping them survive. You encouraged them when they wanted to quit. You defended them when society humiliated them. You became their emotional shelter. And during those moments, they promised they would never forget you. But human memory becomes dangerous when the ego enters the story. Because once success arrives, some people begin rewriting history. At first, the change is small. You notice their replies becoming shorter. You notice the energy changing. You notice they only call when they need something. Then slowly, new people enter their lives. People who have never suffered with them. People who never sacrificed for them. People who arrived only after the success. And these new people begin feeding their ego. You're self-made. You did everything alone. You deserve better people around you. Flattery is powerful, especially for insecure people. Because deep inside, many successful people secretly hate remembering the version of themselves that once struggled. And unfortunately, when they look at you, they remember their weakest phase. You are living proof that they were once desperate, broken, dependent, and lost. So instead of appreciating you, they distance themselves from you. Not because you are bad, but because your presence reminds them of a version of themselves they are trying to erase. This is where status amnesia begins. In psychology, people often reconstruct memories to protect their ego. The human brain does not always want the truth. Sometimes it wants comfort. Sometimes it wants superiority. So what happens? A person who once depended heavily on your support begins convincing themselves that they succeeded mostly because of their own greatness. Your sacrifices become small favors. Your loyalty becomes normal. Your emotional support becomes nothing special. Why? Because admitting your importance would force them to admit something painful, that they were not powerful alone. And ego hates dependency. The higher some people rise, the more they try to disconnect themselves from everyone who witnessed their weakness. This is why some people suddenly change after money, fame, relationships, or status. Success does not always reveal character. Sometimes it exposes the hidden arrogance that poverty was hiding. A poor, arrogant person often looks humble,
because life forced them to be humble. But once power enters their hands, the mask falls. The deepest wound is not losing them. The deepest wound is realizing how easily they erased you. You replay memories in your head. You remember the nights you stayed up for them. You remember the stress you carried for them. You remember protecting them while nobody protected you. And now they barely acknowledge your existence. Sometimes they even talk to you with hidden disrespect.
As if helping them was your duty, as if your sacrifices were meaningless, as if your loyalty had no value. And that pain creates a dangerous question inside your mind. Was I stupid for caring? This is where many good people become emotionally cold, not because they were born heartless, but because betrayal slowly teaches them to stop expecting gratitude from the world. Kind people often suffer the deepest disappointments because they love sincerely, they help without calculation, they give without keeping score, they sacrifice quietly. But selfish people study relationships differently. To them, relationships are often transactions. As long as you are useful, you are valuable. The moment your usefulness decreases, your emotional value also decreases. This is the brutal reality many people discover too late. Some people do not love hearts, they love advantages. And once they find bigger opportunities, bigger social circles, or more powerful connections, loyalty disappears. That is why many successful people suddenly abandoned old friends, old supporters, or even family, because status changed what they prioritize. And sadly, modern society often rewards appearance over loyalty. People celebrate success loudly, but very few celebrate the invisible people who helped create that success. Here is the truth most ungrateful people will never say out loud. They remember. Yes, deep inside, they remember everything. They remember who answered the phone. They remember who stayed. They remember who sacrificed. They remember who loved them when they were nobody. But admitting it would force them to feel guilt, and many people would rather protect their ego than face guilt. So instead, they avoid you, they minimize your importance, they emotionally distance themselves, because pretending you never mattered feels easier than admitting they became selfish. And sometimes, when they are alone at night, when the applause disappears, when fake friends leave, when life humbles them again, they silently remember the people they betrayed. But by then, the damage is already done. So what should you learn from all this? Should you stop helping people? Should you stop loving? Should you become cold and selfish too? No. But you must learn one important truth. Never destroy yourself trying to save people who wouldn't do the same for you. Help people, love people, support people, but never make someone the center of your existence while forgetting your own worth. Because the sad reality is this: some people will drink water from your hands during difficult times and later deny they were ever thirsty. That is why emotional boundaries matter. Do good because it reflects your character, not because you expect loyalty in return. Because gratitude is rare, and emotional maturity is even rarer. The strongest people eventually learn how to help others without emotionally depending on appreciation. And once you understand that, you stop chasing recognition. You stop begging to be remembered. You simply walk away with dignity. There is something ironic about life. People who forget loyal hearts often end up surrounded by fake ones. Because when someone betrays genuine loyalty for status,
they attract people who value status more than loyalty. And eventually, the same shallow world they embraced begins treating them the same way. The fake friends disappear, the attention fades, the admiration becomes conditional. And one day they realize a terrifying thing. The people they abandoned were the only people who truly cared. But life doesn't always give second chances. Some doors close forever, some hearts never reopen, and some regrets stay permanent. If someone forgot your sacrifices after becoming successful, remember this carefully. Their ingratitude does not reduce your value. A flower does not lose its beauty just because a blind person cannot see it. You helped because your heart was real. You loved because your intentions were pure. And in a selfish world, that's not weakness, that's a rare strength. So never regret having a good heart. Just learn who deserves access to it. And maybe the greatest revenge is not hatred. Maybe the greatest revenge is becoming successful yourself without becoming cruel. Text on screen. Some people forget who helped them rise, but life has a strange way of reminding them later. If this video touched you deeply, leave a comment below and share your experience. Have you ever helped someone from nothing only to watch them forget you after success? Subscribe for more deep psychological and emotional stories. Until next time, protect your heart.